Hey, how's it going? Today is 3rd of January, Wednesday. We're taking a look at what kind of opportunities are available out there. In my previous video, there was opportunity there, and they were highlighting that seems like there's a lot of taxpayers' money being allocated to a group of people who's supposed to put together a strategy. So, all the projects that myself or others would be writing, they need to be aligned with that strategy for whatever reason, right? With that in mind, let's try to understand this strategy and everything what was highlighted, right? And since money was already allocated, let's take a look at some of those people working within these institutes and how they're operating and what they're doing, right? That would be Aerospace Technology Institute. Let's try to understand what this organization is all about. Let's try to understand this organization and what's happening. Transforming aerospace through technology and innovation, Aerospace Technology Institute, ITI. That's something that they were referring to. So perhaps the board of people who would be reviewing your projects, and if you yourself you're interested in taking part and working, collaborating, and together with this organization, it depends if it's common sense people, if it's very emotional people. It depends. Let's try to understand if the if some of those people are out of touch of what's happening. We need to understand what's happening, right? Creating the technology strategy for your case, aerospace sector and funds world-class features and development. Okay, so they have funds. Okay, so that money might be there, I guess. So are they generating that money? I don't know. Are they? Or they've been giving a lot of money? Let's try to understand it. The group is there. Perhaps I have touched on competition, right? So if you yourself are interested in taking part in competition, perhaps before doing anything, you might be interested in reaching out to this team and see if you can understand what they're looking to achieve with these funds, right? So perhaps the group up there already know what they are interested in achieving. That might be even better process, right? And just touching on this organization's website, that with their funding, news and events, and resources. Perhaps they have necessary resources and how they're looking to achieve the net zero, right? So since right now, I don't know, it's a very hard thing to do. Perhaps they have available funding and know how to achieve some of those goals, right? And there might be capital there. So since ATV programs, they might be able to, or they have funded number of projects already, right? Myself coming into this, if they were set strategy in place, that strategy might be source how the aviation would be powered, right? And I think even just to use anything, right, whatever case might be, right, I would need all my organization, or any organization might need to have license to do that to begin. So that's where things are. Perhaps we can begin building something, right? But just begin by powering, right? We need to have license to do that. Perhaps I need to reach out to this team first if they can give, or perhaps I don't know what the process was, or perhaps direct me to the person who is responsible for licensing, right? So whatever source we might be interested in using for that cooking oil, how we're gonna do it, we need to that would be the overall process, right? Once we got that one accomplished, perhaps we can progress into building that, I guess. There are some companies, number of projects, perhaps 5 or so within UK, who have successfully flight area vehicles. I think that's the best definition using different sources, right? So it's impossible to do now, but perhaps where we are with the process, and that would be potentially some of those steps, right? Executive management team. So there is a team in place as well as technology. So they might even have technology already, right? And operations, all right? External relations and communications, strategy and innovation, and the board, right? So the my thing. I'm reading it for the first time. I don't know what's happening there. I'm currently taking a look at strategy that was delivered by great people in this organization, right? And within this executive summary, as I mentioned, there is so perhaps I can share my interest that I like to support this organization in achieving its targets. Okay, let's acknowledge that. Once that's been said, I don't want anyone to get in trouble. Begin since there's not they're taking a look within the strategy and sharing hydrogen fuel cells, right? So for people, they need to understand that hydrogen currently where you will get that hydrogen from. So that's some problems there, and perhaps some pointers, right? Since to extract hydrogen and everything, you need to receive license, right? So perhaps this organization would be able to support first how you're gonna get that hydrogen, right? From there, perhaps once that's been done, once that's out of the way, so you have hydrogen, right? Then you can build perhaps aircrafts, right? Easy. Easy as it goes, right? I'll share some information for people out there who are interested. Since it might be important problem for people out there in solving, right? But currently, where things are within hydrogen, right? I have covered a number of videos in the last few weeks or so. How to understand what hydrogen is, how to understand the process of the hydrogen, how you can take free course with good people of NCC, right? And how you can potentially, if you're interested, take part, right? But currently, as the things are, I don't know. Again, so we're reducing number of people. If there was 10 companies who are building something, perhaps there is 5 there. What the heck? There isn't hydrogen there, right? So it can take years, right? There, there's all set of problems, right? Because then anyone would be from engineering point of view, right? If you were to work with hydrogen, right? It's tough one. How expensive it can be to work with it, just to begin with. Okay, how small of the group of people who is able to work with hydrogen? If they just narrowing down just to having hydrogen as a fuel, right, or way of powering, right? There's a very small group of people. Again, that's something I'm trying to highlight, right? Since what they're trying to achieve, great, right? So what this organization would be set up to do, that would be zero carbon emissions, ultra efficient, okay, cross cutting, right? And again, perhaps I don't know how many manufacturers can do it, with how hard it can be to manufacture ways of holding high pressurized hydrogen. How many people can do it? Not that many. That's that is there, right? So they're sharing some information with the market potential, right? But it's very risky, and it depends. Even if I would do something without, like perhaps if they would give money to do something, I don't even want to know or not want to do anything with it because it's very risky. That's a problem. No one's doing anything with it. It's just because if they have something that would be considered monopolies, right? So who can manufacture, who can issue a license to you, and how volatile and how hard it can be, how much time and resource you would like to take away. So you can find yourself 10 years in, right? Without doing anything else, just trying to understand how to manufacture or use hydrogen as a fuel source. The 10 years of your life is gone. So I don't know how much. I'll try to schedule it and or perhaps fill in some documents and see how much they're looking to pay for me or for others to get involved, right? So if they would pay me money on getting involved in solving this problem for them, I might consider it. Other than that, I don't know if I'm gonna get involved. Perhaps I've been with the industry to know just enough, I guess, without investing too much more of my time. How risky and volatile this industry can be, but I don't know if it's promising. But there seems there's independent, perhaps, organizations who have done some research on different sectors, right? And they made projections there. Okay, so how many companies can work and build something? There isn't that many companies. So that's my market research, right? Even if we were to take a look at cars, right, and industry, there's only one company who have manufactured cars, right, on a larger scale. That would be a Japanese company who can put hydrogen can be used as a power source, a fuel source, right? There's just one company. So now there was prototypes, number of prototypes done, but the cars, there's just one company, right? Once that been said, now we're taking a look at how many companies can manufacture and or use hydrogen as a fuel source in aviation, right? I don't know if there isn't that many. Perhaps I can think about perhaps U.S. without promoting any projects there, Perhaps there's a number of those there, but isn't that many again. Yourself, if you're interested in learning more, I have published a book where I'm taking a look at livestock enterprise and how and where to begin when it comes to establishing your first enterprise. If it's not something I have done in the past, that would be where everyone would begin, and we were to take a look at financial goals. That would be zero, where everyone would begin, and progress to first in 10,000 in revenue that you potentially will be able to generate for your business, right? Dollars, euros, pounds, and how you can achieve that milestone. Even if we were to take a look at some of those expenses, where most of your expenses would be going from your pocket potentially every month, that would be food, and potentially how you can save some of those expenses first, and perhaps surplus, if it's something that you would produce, you can give it back or sell it into community, right, by generating extra capital. You can find it QR code in the corner, company's website below. Yeah, it's just a meeting that I had yesterday. I think it's just because of this meeting, right? And I'm currently being in not ventilated room, and I'm being very emotional, I guess. The person that I met with and I spoke with, that was a very prestigious task setup organization within UK, right? Without pointing any fingers. And the person said that only thing what this person would do is administration work or admin work, right? And then again, let's see. Perhaps it's different case, right? Different case, and we take a look at this organization might be completely different, and they not necessarily would be limited only to admin work. And again, nobody knows anything, and they would be coming into any project doing or solving any problem, doing as little as they can. If they can, I'm just happy that it won't be causing any problems. So that's my overall feedback working with some of those institutions, right? Perhaps others have different understanding, and if they can, they don't do anything. only perhaps causing problems, right? So for people who are interested in tackling some of those issues out there, good luck with everything. Thanks for watching. See you next one.